Good morning, class. It's Mr. Vanderkolk here. I'm going to give a little presentation on floor and wall systems for you guys to look at. And then we're going to use Google SketchUp to try and draw parts of a floor and parts of a wall. Probably start with the wall first. So it's just going to be a little presentation. We'll go through it and we'll see how it looks. All right. I'll make sure you guys get a copy of it. So this is floor and wall systems that we're looking at today. Floor framing consists of posts, girders, or beams, joists, and subfloors. Beams and girders are the horizontal, so they run this way. Posts may be needed to support girders and beams. So if you've got a large house, your beam's not going to be strong enough. It's going to have some posts or vertical supports underneath that post to hold up the beam that runs across. The posts may be made of wood or steel and must be fastened to the base and at the girder or the beam. So here's an example of a steel post in a wall, an anchor for a wooden post in the concrete as well. There's a bunch of samples of steel beams or wooden girders and a post that supports it as well. Here's another example of a steel beam. On top of that steel beam, there's a wooden plate that is fastened, or just like a 2x6 or 2x8. And the joists can then be nailed to that wooden plate. Here's a variety of flush-mounted wooden beams. So sometimes your floor joists will be at the same height as the beam. The beam won't be below the floor joist, but they'll be at the same height of it. Those are known as flush-mounted. There's a variety of different setups for that as well. Sometimes you don't have a beam in your house, but you have a wall section to support the floor joists underneath. So in your basement, you may have a wall that supports the floors. And then if you have two different lengths of floor joists where they meet at the center, there's a variety of ways of fastening them together. So there's also two different types of wood products. It's known as conventional, so 2x4s, 2x6s, 2x8s, and then engineered wood products. So on the right, you can see there's LVLs and different I-joists as well. So this is what a floor system might look like, completed with a foundation, floor joists, a beam, and posts with subflooring on top. The first piece of lumber used in framing a floor joist are the sill plates. As we know, the sill plates are responsible for keeping the building from coming off the foundation during inclement weather. A sill gasket is a waterproof membrane that is used to protect the sill plate from rot or decay. This is placed on top of the foundation wall before the sill plate is fastened. Sill plates are most commonly used out of 2x6s, 2x8s, or 2x10 framing materials. So there's a good picture of what it looks like when it's attached to the foundation, and you can see the sill gasket underneath the 2x material to protect it from rot and decay. All joists should be crowned where applicable before installing. So if the crown is up when installed, the pressure applied over time will straighten the joist. However, if the crown is down when installed, the pressure may cause the joist to sag. So joist spacing, it's either 12 inches or 16 inches on center, or OC. This allows us to line up our sheets of plywood exactly on the center of a floor joist. If you have an opening for maybe stairs or an attic access, something like that, it will require additional framing. So they double up trimmer joists, they double up header joists, and things like that. Bridging and blocking are used to tie joists together and help stiffen the floor system. The plans could require one or two rows, depending on the span of the joists must reach. So what bridging does, it stiffens that floor as well, removes the bounce when you're standing on floor joists. The bridging must be flush to the top of the floor joist, since the subfloor must rest against this surface. Subfloor is a wood floor laid over the floor joist under a finished floor. It lends bracing strength to the building, provides a solid base for a finished floor, provides a safe and strong working surface for the building, and now it's usually made out of plywood, OSB, or other engineered product. It used to be 1x4s or 1x6 planks nailed to the floor joist. So there's a bunch of varieties of what they look like. Subfloor is glued and screwed in place to avoid squeaks. Screws have way better holding power,